Hello, everybody. A warm welcome to our today's session with HelloFresh. Hearing! Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Cornelia, account manager, and it is a great pleasure to be here with HelloFresh because working with them on their unified data platform was one of the most inspiring projects I was involved with in all of my 5 years at AWS. So, let me guide you through the menu today. In this talk, you get insights about how to build and to scale a data platform which actually supports the business. You will get as well best practices on how you can transform data mesh as a concept into a real data mesh implementation. And last but not least, together we explore how HelloFresh's data platform enabled business use cases like personalized dishes and loyalty platform. So, I please you to welcome warmly on stage with a big applause Nuno Capeta and Annie Meininghaus.
Hi everybody, my name is Annie. I lead product management at HelloFresh. I'm super passionate about building data-driven products. And for us, the past couple of years at HelloFresh have really presented a big challenge. We went through a phase of accelerated growth. So I'm super happy to be here today and share with you how we took control of this situation and we're now able to continuously build data-driven products that our customers truly love.
Hello everyone, I'm also very excited to be here at reInvent and at least trying to show you how we broke the code to transform our data platform in something that is really usable and user-centric. So Annie, take us to the journey.
Okay, so I'm quickly gonna kick us off today with a quick intro about HelloFresh in case you're not familiar with the company. So HelloFresh was founded in 2011 as a meal kit business in Berlin. In meal kits, we ship pre-portioned ingredients to customers' doorsteps to make it very simple for them to cook. We're now a globally integrated food solutions group and we operate in 18 markets across 3 continents with the mission to change the way people eat forever. Now on this slide you can see our different verticals and HelloFresh these days operates in a brand portfolio. So we have 9 different brands. And on the very left side here, you can see home cooking. This is where we originated from, and this is also where HelloFresh, our main brand, originated. And then we expanded into adjacent categories. For example, we had Green Chef focusing on more niche diets, like vegan diets or keto, but also launched EveryPlate as a more budget-friendly brand in the US. And from then on, we really ventured into our new verticals. So convenience is the most important customer need that we're focusing on at HelloFresh. And a company like Factor takes convenience to the next level by shipping to customers meals which are ready to eat. This is also our most fast-growing vertical right now. But you can also see that we have started to expand into pet food with our company, The Pets Table, as well as Factor Form, looking after supplements and, for example, protein shakes and hydration products. So you can see that we're now really going after the entire family, as well as all aspects of healthy nutrition. And just to give you a little bit of a better impression of our physical scale, I just told you we're across 3 continents. But this slide also shows really well that, of course, we're having a big aspect of our product is a digital product. But behind that, there is a huge supply chain and manufacturing business. So we're operating this company with 41 fulfillment centers right now, and we have 17,000 employees working in those fulfillment centers. And through this network, we were able in the last year to deliver 1 billion meals to customers with a total revenue of 7.6 billion. In this slide, you can actually see that until the years 2019, let's say, until the year 2019, we were really cruising along with a very sustainable and stable growth rate. But then you can see the COVID effect really taking off after that. And this is where we actually experienced accelerated demand. And this is the time where we had to react and implement quickly a lot of the mechanisms and tools that we'll be sharing with you today. So keep in mind this period. And if all goes well, we'll hopefully be able to do that again. I just alluded to the fact that Factor, our ready-to-eat business, is our fastest growing vertical. And just to show you, in the years 2020 to 2023, in the last 3 years, we were able to accelerate revenue growth by 20x by expanding our market share in the US and our footprint in the US, but also internationalizing Factor as a brand to 6 countries. And without further ado now, let us take you on our data journey. And hopefully you'll be able then to apply these learnings when you face a period of accelerated growth. What happens when a business grows? When a business grows, typically, you just generate more data. And that's both an opportunity and a challenge. In a way, more data allows you to build better insights. Better insights allow you to build better products. Better products convince more customers to be either acquired or retained, and that again fuels business growth. It's the perfect flywheel effect. But in order to capture this flywheel effect, what you really have to do behind the scenes is to invest in mechanisms and scaling mechanisms to be able to handle this scale. And this is exactly the situation that we faced. In our world, we had a centralized data team, and through this accelerated growth journey, this central team became a bottleneck. They became very much overwhelmed by the sheer volume of data that we are producing, but also, as I showed you, we were expanding our categories, so we're creating new business context. We were releasing new features every day, and that really proposed a big challenge to this team to stay ahead of the context and continuously make sense of our data model. So, Nuno, what could be done about that?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. Maybe a lot of you had the same problem and thought about the same thing. Well, data mesh, like the solution for the world and peace and everything. So we thought that we had everything sorted out. So easy peasy. We'll go there, decentralize, give ownership to teams. Everyone owns their own data assets. You have freedom, you can start doing your things, and that's it. We'll solve the problems. I have a question. I don't see really well the audience because of the light, but I have a couple of questions. So who had the same idea or was facing the same problems and tried to implement the same strategy? Not a lot. I see some hands. And who was able to do it and succeed, at least at the first try? Well, no one, so that's a good, interesting one. So it's exactly what happened to us. So we had that great idea to have that decentralized kitchen, and this is mainly what happened to us. So after we decided to start our data mesh journey, we ended up more in a data mess than anything else. So, but of course, with any failure, you have learnings and opportunities. So what did we learn, at least from our first iteration? Okay, so we were able to sell the idea. So it was very successful, particularly with the leadership. It was really pushed down and people were really, really enthusiastic. But we really didn't have a playbook on how to implement. So mainly we were trying and flying blind, mainly trying to cook something without a recipe. That's kind of an analysis. The second one is investment challenges. So we had our internal platform that we felt that it could support everything, it could support our growth, but we were only tailoring and targeting our data engineers. And that was really a problem because we were still continuing having the same bottleneck. So we were not expanding the reach. The third one was mainly ownership and domain understanding. So we mainly took an approach of, well, let's slice and dice what we have, give it to the domains, and expect that people learn on the fly. That failed miserably. And instead of making it better, we make it way worse because people didn't have any context and couldn't really understand what they were doing. And the last, that I think is really the most important one, was we took a very lift and shift approach of the first iteration. So we thought, well, let's just do what we are doing. Let's not think about a global data model that could really represent the business, and let's see how it works. So that didn't really fly well. So what did we do after?
Yeah, let's take a step back. Let's go back to the drawing board and think again. So we realized that we had different personas in the company. And what we have done so far worked better for a few than for others. We were really able to bring along with our vision quickly the data engineers, analytical engineers, and data analysts. They understood immediately the value of this distributed journey, and they went to work. However, we didn't fully factor in or take into account that not all product teams at HelloFresh actually had access to these data experts. A lot of teams for us in HelloFresh are full stack, so they have like front-end engineers, they have analysts, PMs, and back-end engineers, but not all the teams have access to like data specialists. And that meant we truly had to bring our back-end engineers further along. So back-end engineers were the people, when they released new services, they were creating a lot of new data and also business context. But then they told us, well, I don't quite understand what to do next. And we also felt that product managers, although they should have an intrinsic need to accelerate their time to insights, to become autonomous in creating their success metrics and in analyzing their feature success faster, they weren't quite getting it. But then they're also in charge of prioritization of the squads. So if they don't really get it, how do we get anything done? And so, Nuno, do you think there's a way that we can bring these people along and make everybody more autonomous and maybe find ways to publish our data in a more simple and easier way?
We hope so. We've been working on it. But let's take it to the second iteration of our platform. So like Annie mentioned, one of the major problems that we had was the platform was not meant for everyone. So what did we thought about it? So let's start by making data available. So the first thing that we did was create a seamless way to bring data from the operational plane into the analytical plane, because that was mainly one of the major problems. We had a blockage that people could not access all the data that was being produced at the operational layer. The second one was, remember the problem that I mentioned on the other one, that we didn't thought about the global data model? So that we really over-invested and invested a lot on that. So we really created our HelloFresh global data model that now represents how the business runs. So we can really understand what an order is, what a box is, and now we know what the business runs and how it does it. But that was better, and we started to really see progress and people starting to bring data in and starting to analyze it. But we had really a problem, and that was mainly this, okay? So we had an empty kitchen. So we were investing in a platform that no one seemed to be using. So again, second time, product thinking. Let's understand why that was the problem. So one of the problems that we had was it was still not a unified solution. So probably in the majority of the keynotes that you heard today, unification and globalization has been one of the key words. So making it simple for your users is paramount. So it doesn't mean that creating a bunch of different services works well, like a combination of Legos. They need to be in a way that is cohesive. And of course, to make it work, you need to tell people how to do it. So you need good playbooks, you need governance, you need ownership. And of course, you need simplicity. So this is the most important factor of any platform, is how you put it to your users and how you make it simple to use. So let's try to deep dive a bit more on how we are and at what point are we at this point. So now we have our current data kitchen that we call Tardis, and we like to give names to things. So Tardis is because we are a bit geekish, and we also think that Tardis represents very well the universe of it's bigger on the inside than the outside. So how does it look like, and what does it do? Like, the first thing that it really allows is data integration, data ingestion. So like I was talking, it really allows us to bring data from multiple data sources into our analytical plane and start exploring it. The second one that is really important, we created a really, really easy onboarding. So we created a CLI that allows our developers to do local testing. We are now developing a UI that really allows any person in the organization to really create the data product. The third one that I think is really one that was a breakthrough is that a majority of probably your data analysts or data engineers doesn't want to touch Terraform, doesn't want to touch IAM roles, permissions, any of that. So what we did is we created a complete abstraction that from the CLI and the onboarding takes care of it. So it really reduces the complexity load that anyone needs to have. The last one, not the last one, but other really important feature is cost optimization. So as we are using a multi-tenancy approach, we can really optimize for cost in our platform. So we use the best of each service of AWS, and I will explain a bit better after, to really have the best in class. Another really important thing is that as we are targeting a lot of different personas, and one of them being data analysts, the capacity to automate how we do models is really, really important. So we went to a very lengthy effort to try to automate how we bring the data modeling into the platform. And last but not least, training and documentation. If you have a platform that people cannot really use, it's not useful. So you get back to the empty kitchen. Okay, now let's go back a bit into the text and boxes and arrows for the architects here. So it's not very detailed, but I think it will give you a better idea on what we're working on. So mainly, what is Tardis? So Tardis is a multi-model unified data platform. So, and what really does that mean? It means that it's a platform that can handle multiple loads and multiple types of workloads of data. What is the main difference of it? So it's the way that we built planes on it. So we have to start, we have a management plane that allows the interaction with the platform and takes care of the main responsibilities of onboarding, automation, monitoring, all of it. Then we have our control plane, that is where the orchestration and user management appears. So this is completely abstracted from our users. They only interact with the management plane, and that was a big difference for us. And then we have like the typical data platform that you're used to see. That is like, you have your ingestion, processing, serving layers, and of course your storage on top of it. Not rocket science, but I think it was the way that we built it for ease of use that was really the differentiator. So we were discussing a bit how we ingested and brought data in. So I'm gonna go just very briefly into some use cases on how we are using our platform to try to give you a bit of a taste of it. So one of the things that really unblocked business was how we were able to bring data from event bus, specifically Kafka, into the analytical plane. So this used to take, and then correct me if I'm wrong, months and weeks, because you had a backend engineer, they would need to spin up Kafka connectors, they would need to mainly go with bentos or any stream processor that no one knows what it is. They would need to create S3 buckets, go talk with the data teams, understand schemas. It was really, really a mess. So what did you do? So in the spirit of making it really simple, we thought, well, and if we could make all of this available with one PR? That was the target and the challenge. And this is exactly what we did. So mainly we created automation that allows any backend engineer, just by going to what we call a schema registry, after they define the scheme, so we also enforcing governance on top of Kafka, we enabled those teams to just with one PR saying sync to the data lake to bring data immediately. So this was really, really transformational. So this allowed to move cases that were taking months and months to days. Okay, so mainly what we do is you put a PR, everything related to the infrastructure is created. That is to do with your S3 buckets, with your connectors, with your Kafka pieces, with your management solutions, with your storage, and that's it. Data starts flowing, and in a couple of minutes, you can start analyzing it. But then you have data in, and usually this data is like event-driven, and no one really knows how to do it. So that was another problem that we had. So we had sorted out this initial problem, so now we have data in S3, and we thought, well, this was amazing, everyone can start analyzing it. But then we realized that backend engineers, well, I don't know anything about data processing, I need to go to a data engineer still. So the data was there, but we were not really seeing the acceleration. This was how we started thinking. So if we could really simplify and guide people onto onboard data. And that's exactly what we're doing. So we really thought about the same process. So if we can go back again to one click, in this case it's not one click because it's a bit more complex to transform a proto-JSON into something, but it's the same paradigm. So what we are doing is exactly the same concept. Through Tardis and through our multi-layer architecture, we enable our backend engineers, our data engineers, to really go to a CLI or to a UI that I will show in a bit, and just define the data product that they want to do. And everything is then taken care of by the platform and really releases the pressure and the cognitive load of needing to think about all of these things like how do I do orchestration? How do I do user management? How do I do syncing of data? How do I do transformations? All of those things. So after you have data in raw, you just need to go to Tardis, create your pipeline, let it run, and you have standardized data. But standardized data is still not enough. So the majority of our cases are much more complex. So then you need to go from multiple sources to our global data model. And this is where we also really thought, well, this usually takes months to create a data vault model. I don't know if there's a lot of people that are working in model, but probably you know how complex that is and the complexity that it takes. So we also thought, well, why not use the same concept and really bring it to our analysts, the same simplicity that we're doing, using the same type of platform, and give them the same tools. So you can do ingestion, transformation, and advanced modeling all through the same place. And that's exactly what we've done. So using the same interface, using the same type of tooling, we are now enabling our analytical engineers to create very advanced models that run in the same platform and in the same time. And there you go. Data flows in, data flows out. But this is not the end. So as the business accelerates, we also seen the need to start having closer to near or even real-time opportunities. But instead of creating a completely different platform, we thought, well, why not to use the existing one and just advance it, enrich it, and bring all the great stuff that we were doing into a streaming capability. So what we are releasing now and what we're working is moving from batch or micro batch to really streaming. So, but using exactly the same concepts that we have. So through our UI, through our CLI, we are now enabling any data analyst, any backend engineer to really bring events from their Kafka streams into S3, transform them, but in real time. And this has been transformative, and it's been enabling us to really lower costs across the business. And there we go, data flowing again. Okay, and how do we do all of this? Okay, you saw that we didn't really have any AWS services. Probably AWS people were saying, well, where is it, all of it is running? Anyway, we mainly use a couple of services. One of them is AWS Identity and Access Management. Of course, as you see, we need to really be secure and be able to divide data, particularly for PII, governance, GDPR, all of the typical compliances parts. Glue is our main technical catalog. We also have a business catalog, but Glue is kind of what, well, glues everything together here. And the powerhouse behind everything, it has been EMR. So we've been using EMR for a couple of years, and we've gone through a lot of transformations. So we started with, well, the typical EMR on EC2. Then we were very happy when AWS released EMR serverless, because this really streamlined the way we build things. So now we don't really need to have 24/7 clusters running. That would really spike costs. And more recently, we started introducing EMR on EKS. And that has been absurdly cheaper than anything that we had until now. So. And of course, the majority of our data sits in S3, like, or probably all of you have data in S3 here. And all of our platform runs on EKS. So we have what we call a fault-tolerant cluster architecture. So we distribute clusters for each of the teams, and have the capability to spin it up very, very quickly. Okay, that was a lot of tech jargon and a lot of talk. And one thing that I really wanted to call out is, without adoption, any platform is nothing, okay? I just wanted to give you some numbers, and these numbers are already non-updated because I saw the KRs today, and they are quite higher. But anyway, we had more than 650% growth in data assets created this year, okay? So this is, the number may look big, but it's because it's really, really a lot of data that is started. But much more important than assets is how we were able to scale the platform across the organization. So we are really, really happy because we saw a more than 300% growth in the teams that use it. And this is much more important than the number of assets. So to give you an idea, we had a KR for this year of targeting 15% of all the squads in the organization in the same year. And I saw it today, and we hit it. So I'm pretty happy about it. And even more important than that is, are you happy with the platform? If you're happy with the platform, it means that you have more than one case running there. So you see numbers, number of expansion, and then repetition. So these are really, really impressive numbers that I wanted to share with you, and that makes us very happy with what we've been building. And of course, it's also nice to see some user feedback. So what we've been trying to build is something that is very user-friendly, and nothing better than having sponsorship from your clients on how to do it, okay? And let's see in real time how to build a data product. So this is our UI that we've just built on top of Backstage. So it's fully integrated with our internal platforms. So you can immediately, when you log in, have access to SSO, your authentication, all of it. And like I said, it is really, really easy. So the only thing that you need to do is fill up a bunch of some information that have to do mainly your team, your squad, your tribe, when do you want to run your pipeline, what is the table name that you want to create, the type of loads that you want to have, a bit more of information, if you have duplication of keys, the type of version, if you want to partition your tables or not, and then the type of data that you are running on the platform because of the incrementality that it's allowed, if you're using SQL or if you're uploading a SQL or if you're writing your own SQL, and then this is a very basic one, just a select star, just to prove the point. Review. You have all of the information at one point, and that's it. You just click create. The same CLI that we use for onboarding is called in the backend, and that's it. Your files are created, your pull request is created, you go to Git, see if everything is correct, press merge, and that's it. Your data pipeline is ready. And this is in real time. This is not even accelerated. This is how easy it is to build a data product currently at HelloFresh. One last thing that I wanted to really call out is, it's not enough to create a data product. You still need to trust the data that you have. So another thing that we've been implementing is data contracts. So agreements between the producers and the consumers that they can consume and use their data with confidence. So we've implemented data contracts with pre-flight checks. So this allows us to shift to the left the responsibilities. So every time someone creates a data product, they're able then to immediately validate if anything that they're doing will break the schema and break any upstream consumer. So when the product is published, then we do post-publish checks. So this allows it then to understand if we have any problems on the data set. It is fully connected to our alerting and observability platform and does two really good things. One, it alerts the data owner, but it also alerts the data stakeholder, because nothing is worse than the business calling you and telling you that you have wrong data. Okay, that was it for a bit, but whew.
Very cool. So I can tell you that demo never gets old. Going from weeks and months to what we have seen here is like super impressive. But Nuno, I have to tell you, I had a 10 a.m. with our CFO this morning, and he has been telling me that we've been going at this and we've been working on this platform with a pretty expensive team for a couple of months now. So he was wondering on the return on investment. Do you think there is anything we have to show for already?
Well, I don't know. Let's hope so. If not, everyone is getting fired, and I think we've worked a lot. No, I just wanted to show a bit of how we also use the platform internally. So this is one of the immense use cases that we have. But to answer our CFO question, we currently ingest a bunch of data into that we eat our own dog food. So we like to really test what we do. So we ingest a lot of data. One of them is being kube cost. So we get all the information from our Kubernetes cluster. And we also get all the information from kube cost, from our usage report. So, of course, then we feed it through Tardis, and then we are able to very easily create what we call the cost analysis dashboard. And this can answer our CFO question. So this is more or less what it looks. So for what do we use it? So mainly we use it currently for annual planning. So we can now really understand for tribe, squad, and even at query level, how much every component of our infrastructure is costing. On top of that, this also allows us to really excel on operational excellency, because it doesn't even, not only gives us the cost of running, but gives us something that is way more important, that is the performance of it. So we know if it's doing well or bad. And for our CFO, now we can start really forecasting and giving budgets to teams and really say, well, in 25, you probably should start spending a bit less.
And of course, we can't leave you today without showing you also how our end customers at HelloFresh benefit from this new platform. And with the launch of HelloFresh Plus, we were able to create a product that is now powered by a comprehensive customer profile in the back. And here we reward customers for their loyalty, but also for favorable actions. And Tardis and this really good understanding of the customer in the back then allow us to reward customers with personalized rewards, and even go a step further and take the app-only experience and create a multi-channel ecosystem where everything from the online experience to the offline marketing collateral we put into boxes to the push notifications and emails is orchestrated in a very, very synchronized way.
Okay, and this is a bit of the end. We just wanted to leave you with a couple of learnings that I hope resonate and can help you on your journey also. So the first one, it has to do a bit with the empty kitchen, with all of the problems that you saw in the beginning, is if you want to think about decentralization, think about it with a purpose. Just not because it is a buzzword, because that will not really help you.
You really have to involve the entire product team. Also, the people who don't code or have been previously involved. Everybody has to understand their new responsibilities.
The third one, it is really how you measure success. So what we adopted was adoption, not pun intended. And we felt that this was really if you had to go with one KPI, adoption was the one that I would recommend, at least one in this type of products.
And picking out some real-life use cases and working backwards from use cases from either your internal customer or your external customer will actually ensure that your platform is showing you positive ROI in the end.
That's it. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, with this, please bring a warm applause to our speakers. It was a pleasure having you here. It was as well a pleasure to have all of you here. So if you have questions left, and Nuno and Annie are here to answer them, and for sure you have their contact details, you can get in touch with them on LinkedIn. And one ask to you is please rate the session in the audience, as we value your feedback and we want to improve on behalf of your feedback. And with this, I wish you a great rest of the day. Thank you. Warm applause to you as well.